Hey, welcome back. This is the Family Man episode 4. This week, me and my wife are going to be going over family and communication with your wife, your spouse, your kids, who should be asleep by now.
Yeah.
All right, we're actually going to try to do this on just one clean shot, one clear shot. See what we can do, see how it goes. I didn't have this anything scripted. I just kind of brought this up, and I think it was a great topic for tonight. Me and my wife, we're talking today about things that were or whatever you want to call upsetting us. There we go. Or we weren't feeling comfortable with, and I was just thinking how important it is to communicate those things with your spouse, even though it may be something that is hard to do. But how important that it is that you actually do communicate with the person that you love, with the people that are around you, period. So hopefully this can help you in your life as a husband, as a wife, as a coworker, as a best friend, things of that nature. So, what do you think that communication is, and what is the importance of it inside of a family?
To me, communication is give and take. It's not just verbal words. It's action. It is also what you say, how you say those things. Communication is huge, I should say. Inside of a family, are you asking like what it looks like, what it should look like?
Yeah, what do you think it looks like?
I think that with any communication, there's going to be some conflict. There's going to be, I don't know.
With that conflict, though, is it better to have the conflict or not to have the conflict?
Of course, you need the conflict because.
What about people that think conflict is bad? What do you say to that?
They're not in a real relationship. You can't.
You think that's true? I mean,
I wouldn't have said it if I didn't think that was true. In any relationship, there's going to be some sort of conflict, even in your relationship with Christ, right? Sometimes you don't do all the things that He wants you to do, and then there's some nagging, pulling on your heart, on your conscience, saying you need to get this done, or this needs to happen in your life. There needs to be some change. Something big usually happens, or something that's just in your heart usually happens that's conflicting from what you normally would do. So if we are having issues, right, that's a conflict of interest to me, to you, then it would be best for us to communicate about those issues, right?
Okay.
I mean, if you don't want to call it conflict, you want to call it a disagreement that makes you feel better, cool, whatever.
Okay, so who and how do you think that if you want to communicate that you are not feeling good about something, how do you think that you should bring it up? Is it those words that you never want to hear, babe, we need to talk? Or do you just think that you just bring it up in general conversation?
It depends on your personality type. I'm more of a blunt type. Hey, we need to talk about this. This has been bothering me.
I hate that.
We need to get this together. Or you'll be getting a bunch of facial-ish things going on with me, like a passive-aggressive type deal. Until we have that conversation about whatever the issue, conflict, whatever the problem is. And so that's just me. Some people prefer not to really say anything and wait till things just get so bad that they can't take it anymore, and that then causes a bigger problem. A slight mention, hey, I noticed you did something this way. I'm used to it this way.
Do you think that there is a different form of communication between a man and a woman? Or do you think that they should handle communication in two different ways, or is it just by the person?
I think it's by the person. In certain cultures as well, like communication is a huge thing. It's cultural, it's spiritual, it's gender. It's just depending on your personality type and how you were taught to handle communication issues, or how you were taught to communicate.
Okay. Do you ever write down things that you feel like, or do you just feel like you got to say it right then?
I think about it sometimes, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't like it. I'm telling you, I don't appreciate it. I don't like it.
Are there times that you don't need to say something?
Of course.
And does that communicate with me? Or do you think from a woman's perspective what that looks like to communicate with their husband who should be in leadership?
And what are you listening for all these questions? What are you asking me again? You asked me like 3 different questions.
No, I'm just saying, what does it look like from a woman's perspective of how they should come to their man about problems or anything, or just direct communication in itself?
I think it's all grounded in the relationship that you have with your loved one, your wife, your spouse, your husband, whoever it may be. You learn that culture of your relationship as you progress in it, right?
Okay.
And so in our relationship, I know that we can talk to each other about whatever the issues are, but I also know that we both may have an inclination that, oh man, I messed up here. I know I should have done something better this way, or I should have done it this way. I might get chewed out, or it's real,
Who does
right?
that? When do I do that?
Or, I know he or she's going to say something to me, but it is what it is. But I think that, personally, in our relationship, it makes it better when we say, okay, I hear you, I acknowledge the issue, and this is how I hope for us to move forward, and this is how I plan on making it better.
All right. I think that's a perfect answer for this whole entire thing, and a way to lead out as well. Communication is what you have to do to get through and go in with your relationship, correct? So you have to have it, and you have to use it.
Or you're gonna lose it.
Or you're gonna lose it.
More than just the communication too.
And I think it's a lot of people bring up the putting down the toilet seat can absolutely ruin a relationship. I don't think necessarily that action in itself messes up a relationship. But if you don't say it, and if you don't take action, if the husband or the whoever it may be is not doing those things that is being asked, it ruins it.
We don't have that issue a whole lot.
Bottling up and not communicating, holding back, ends things. And it could be self-ending, or if you don't communicate well. If the only way that you come to somebody is in a fight, warrior-like way, I'm yelling at you, telling you what is going on with me, and I need you to change it now.
Demanding.
Sometimes that kind of form of communication won't work, and it does self-end. But to end this, I think that it is super important to have communication inside a relationship, inside your marriage. I believe that there is going to be conflict. there may be some sort of heightened voices. You may get a little bit louder, and you may argue with each other, but it is such a good thing. It is such a fantastic thing to have inside your relationship, is communication. Because without communication, you can't have a relationship. Can't have it, and it won't go strong. But, so, we just thank you, and we hope you enjoyed this talk between me and my wife, Tiana. And I am the family man, Michael Shear, and this is Communication with the Family Man, episode 4. Thank you. Subscribe, like. Hit us with some shares. Please send